Come on in, everyone. You're nice and early, which is the way to be, but you probably didn't wake up as early as our guest today, Kelly Mitchell, joining us from Hawaii with the 7 ways to find your niche and own it. It's a little after 6, well, it's almost 7 o'clock there in Hawaii. And the caffeinator will be joining us, so grab your morning beverage of choice, although you don't need it, because you're going to get caffeinated by the content today. Agent Caffeine, it's all about the buzz. Brev Talk Couture, that's her program for any entrepreneur. It's Kelly Mitchell coming up in just minutes. 7 ways to find your own niche and own it. Secrets of top selling agents. Stick around. I'm going to get another shot here because it's Breve, not Brev. Breve, and there's it's a great program. I checked it out last night. And your phones are muted for the entire webinar. So if you have a question, use the GoToWebinar control panel. That's the little thing that's sitting on your desktop. It's kind of bluish silver. And there's a question section down at the bottom. You can type in there now. And go ahead and try it out. Tell me what's your morning beverage of choice this morning or this afternoon. I know it's lunchtime on the East Coast. What gets you going as a real estate agent in the morning, beverage-wise? Yes, that's exactly how it works. Skip, thanks for joining us. Skip has orange flavor, just orange flavor, an orange flavor kickstart. And Donna, you have the same thing I have each morning, a smoothie, iced coffee on the East Coast. Great, it's great to be here early. Green tea for Adrena. So that's the place where you will ask questions during the webinar. You know, we have, I think, over 75, close to 80 now, webinars recorded. They come free every month from Homes.com. Secrets of Top Selling Agents going for a number of years now. So drop by secretswebinars.com and check out luminaries like Barbara Corcoran, Alan Dom, Gary Keller, Michael Mayer, Larry Kendall, Jay Lineker. All on demand 24/7. So check them out. And write this date down. Put it on your calendar. July 30th, 1 p.m. Eastern. It's Lee Barrett joining us. All his negotiation tips. Your clients expect you to negotiate, so better get Lee Barrett on tap. July 30th, 1 p.m. Eastern, secretswebinars.com is where you sign up for that. There's an easy social media solution, and Homes.com social is it. It's like having your own virtual assistant there all the time, 24/7, working for you. At least that's the way I say it. Joe's going to tell you all about it. A very short presentation following Kelly, right around the top of the hour, the next hour. Homes.com social. So if you have questions for Joe, or if you'd like to take advantage of the special today, it's $100 off. The Premier Bundle is $199.95. Keep that number handy because you may decide mid-presentation of Joe's presentation you want to give him a call. 7 ways to find your niche. So for part of the program today, Kelly will be on webcam. And so I want you to get ready for that by showing you how the GoToWebinar webcam control panel works. So I'm going to share my webcam where I have a little commercial all queued up. And then you can make that as big or small as you like in the GoToWebinar control panel. So hang on. Now your GoToWebinar or GoToWebinar screen, you should see Webinar Broadcast and the little icon. You can use that slider and make the slide smaller, make the video larger. It's all up to you. So try that out, and then I'll run the commercial here. We haven't started. We're still pre-show, about 6 minutes away. Kelly Mitchell joining us. So you're in the right place. Here's this commercial, though. Having difficulty managing the social accounts and the online conversations about you and your brand? Homes.com Social can help. Homes.com Social sets up, manages, and monitors your online social media presence and keeps you educated and social media savvy, saving your audiences with social reports, basic demographics like gender and age, and in-depth information like shopping preferences, which networks they're active on and when. Social reports also identifies which content is performing well. In addition to managing your social presence, we'll also monitor and manage what's being said about you. First, we'll make sure your business page is verified and all information current with the top 3 directories. Then, Reputation Manager will update you as often as you like on how you're faring in online conversations, enabling you to enhance your visibility and resolve issues with a few clicks. Reputation Manager's detailed executive report covers visibility, your reviews, your mentions, and how your local search presence compares to your competition. Reputation Manager even determines whether a story or comment about your business is positive, neutral, or negative, and shows you how those sentiments are changing over time. And finally, we're here to support and educate you and your team. The Social Fuel newsletter will keep you on the cutting edge, as well as cover social media basics. Webinars grant you access to social media experts, and a full training calendar offers you continuous support. Let us manage, monitor, and grow your online social presence. Start driving leads with Homes.com Social today. Homes.com Social, branding made easy. So again, that's how the webcam works. So you can make it any size you want. So if you have any problems with that, use your question section there and chat us because Kelly will be live on webcam for part of the presentation during your Q&A part because I know you'll have questions about your niche. And you'll probably have questions for Joe Cesso. Joe Cesso joining us right after Kelly to tell us more about Homes.com Social and answer any questions you have and tell you more about the webinar special, which is $199 for the premier bundle of Homes.com Social. So keep that number handy and stay close. We're just about 3 minutes away till we hit 7 a.m. or maybe, is it 7 a.m. or 6 a.m.? We'll find out. It's early in Hawaii. Kelly Mitchell joining us. 7 ways to find your niche and own it. The Caffeinator getting us all caffeinated. Coming up, Secrets Top Selling Agents. just seconds away from Secrets of Top Selling Agents, brought to you every month by Homes.com with 75, 80, I think now, webinars recorded. Watch them at your leisure. Watch and learn. Watch them over again. It's always good to repeat, really internalize those messages. Lee Barrett joining us. Negotiation, your clients expect it. So let's get really good at it. July 30th, 1 p.m. Eastern. Secrets Webinars is where you sign up for Lee Barrett joining us for the July webinar. And Homes.com has an easy social media solution. And Joe Cecil will be joining us right at the end of the webinar with a very short presentation to tell you all about it. And let me confirm, we've got a giveaway. We're going to talk about what we're giving away at the end. No, at the end, at the very end. Kelly's got something special. $100 off, something special from Homes.com. $200, well, less than $200 for the premier bundle of Homes.com Social. Joe will tell you all about it. And we're just seconds away now from 7 ways to find your niche and own it. Kelly Mitchell, the Caffeinator, coming up.
Not what you send, it's that you do.
I don't sleep.
All my emails are personalized.
My houses come up in the first week. The more you have to be organized.
Not to put all your eggs into one basket.
Keep those people remembering you. Give them what they're looking for.
But properly priced is the key. I say, how can I do this different? You know, we don't have a technology problem. We have a people problem.
You have to build a relationship.
Secrets of Top Selling Agents with your hosts, Deborah Helleran and Mel McMurran.
Hi, and thanks for joining us. I'm Deb Helleran, producer and host of Secrets of Top Selling Agents. And with me here in our Cobb Mountain, California studio is Mel McMurran, co-host and sound engineer. Good morning, Mel.
Good morning, Deb.
I can hear your papers rustling there. I am very happy to introduce entrepreneurial dynamo Kelly Mitchell, CEO of Caffeinator TV, where she hosts and produces weekly programs Agent Caffeine and Breve TV.
Inman considers her one of the 100 most influential people in real estate 2 years running. Swainpool ranks her as 8th in the social media segment of the 200 most powerful people in real estate.
She is a contributing author for Huffington Post Hawaii and the Swainpool Technology Report and Real, a path to passion, purpose, and profits in real estate. Kelly Mitchell, it is a pleasure to have you with us today. Hey, are you there?
I am here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, sure.
And that was a heck of an introduction. I hope I can live up to at least one of those things.
Now, I'm not sure whether I got Mel pronounced it Swain. I pronounced it Swainpool.
It's actually Swanepoel. It's Stefan Swanepoel. He's an author, and he puts out a wonderful trends report every year that is kind of like the Bible for real estate brokerages across the nation, and recently put out the technology report, and there's a piece that I wrote on podcasting in there, actually.
Ah, all right, great. Kelly, I have been waiting for this, and you're going to talk to us about working with our niches.
Absolutely. Very passionate about this segment of the business, and I really think it's a way for a lot of people to take control of their future. So I'm super excited to share what I've learned, and boy, have I had a lot of lessons in what to do and what not to do.
Well, are we going to keep the webcam on?
No, we'll let her jump to her slides.
All right.
And we'll see you again for Q&A.
Great.
Absolutely. Okay, so I am taking control and moving the slides.
There you go.
There we go. So it's 7 ways to find your niche and own it. Why 7 ways? Are there only 7 ways? Absolutely not. There are a lot more, but we need to focus, and that's one of the most important messages that I want to kind of drive home about niches. And I have to say, one of the most terrifying things I ever did in my life was to commit to a niche. I always felt that we were in the land of plenty, and in fact, I am a licensed agent. I don't do it full-time anymore. It's more of a hobby thing for me, but I was very successful in spite of my mentality about avoiding the niche. And not only did I tell my broker when I first started that I could handle the city of Honolulu, but I could also handle the island of Oahu, and in fact, the state of Hawaii. And in retrospect, I know now how ridiculous that sounded. But I think that it kind of permeates a lot of industries where people feel like if they're more vanilla, then they'll have more connection with more people. And it's actually the complete opposite that's true. And so we'll dig in a little bit. I'm going to share some of my stories, some of the challenges, opportunities, and failures I've been a part of, and I've been a part of many. And hopefully there will be some things that you'll take away and be able to apply to your own business. So starting with it, the focus, identifying your niche and dominating it. And when we say dominate, we mean working harder than anyone else could possibly do at it. And it's really, you're going to hear the word passion come up a lot. I feel like in real estate, real estate is one of those careers. There are some people, it seems like there's a segment of people that, they're so passionate about real estate they couldn't ever imagine themselves doing anything else. And then there are other people who absolutely love, they love things beyond real estate. And in fact, maybe they're not that passionate about real estate, or maybe real estate's morphed for them. When they got in, they were excited, and now it's 15, 20 years later, and it's not as thrilling. And what we really want to do is keep in mind that just because you're in real estate doesn't mean that how you're sharing and marketing yourself is relegated to that one segment. So let's see. And that was very interesting. Okay, here we go. My apologies. I've got a couple of wireless devices here, and it's, here we go. Okay, so what exactly is a niche? There's some descriptions here that give you, the dictionary, the Wikipedia notion as to what it is. In my opinion, a niche is something that describes an aspect of you that you're very passionate about, that helps people put you in a category in their mind. And when I say a category, I'm looking at, a segment. There is an agent, Laurel Starks, who's in Newport Beach, and she actually has, made the divorce arena her niche. And I think that when you have something that you're passionate about to the point where it's permeating everything that you do and your very existence, then that is a niche. So in this perspective, you want to identify and explode and own your own niche, and you have to take a decisive role to attract your ideal client. Being a generalist no longer works, because as we get further down the line, people are going to start putting you in the same basket with the other agents. You actually have to make a decision to articulate your focus, your interests, as well as your expertise. A niche actually helps make you more memorable, and it gives you an opportunity to own mind share in a prospect or a client's mind. And we actually hear so many times that people, they can't remember, they met a really great agent at an open house, but they saw so many open houses, they can't remember exactly who was the person who resonated with them. They have 15 cards and no clue. And it's really, from that perspective, this niche and the focus on the niche is going to help you combat that issue. So we want to overcome becoming a vanilla flavor like everybody else. It is also an element or elements of your personal brand. And I know that you are going to hear a little bit more about personal brand in the next episode. So really pay attention to that, because that will kind of be the glue that's going to pull everything together. And I think you'll have a lot of aha moments too, because defining a niche, identifying it, and then focusing on it is really kind of challenging, especially if you're like me and like many people today with the internet and social media and everything else, you're a little bit all over the place. So it is an element or elements of your personal brand. I have recently become very focused, and a confession, you know, in real estate, like you heard earlier, I was not very focused on a niche. I wanted to be all things to all people. And the journey that it took me on was it took me into some really unsavory territory. I found myself working with people that I didn't like, that made me miserable because our communication styles didn't match. We didn't have common interests, and it was really, really challenging. And it literally got to the point where I was so not having fun in that space that I couldn't wait for the day to end. And you shouldn't ever feel like that about your career. So I think also the other aspect, the other kind of facet that a niche offers you is a way to embrace your passion and express it, and then use that as a way to communicate to other people. So for me now, I'm very focused on my niches, and my niches are very entrepreneurial. The shows that I do are very directed towards entrepreneurs. You know, Agent Caffeine directed towards entrepreneurs in the real estate space, and then Breve TV Uncorked embraces the entrepreneurs as more generalists, but with a twist on another passion of mine, which is wine, and it's called Breve TV Uncorked. So we've got my caffeine, my wine, it's all about the buzz, and I'm passionate about that. There's so many things I can talk about in the space of wine and caffeine, and the buzz, for a matter of fact. But because I'm passionate, the opportunities to express that are innumerable. So I think when you find yourself a focus, you find yourself a niche or niches, then you find it much easier to share content, to create content, to inspire passion in others. It's really the best way to serve a niche is if you are knowledgeable about it and passionate about it. You actually also have to be authentically passionate. Okay, so authentic is huge. Don't try to be something that you're not, right? In one of my journeys, I actually, and in real estate, I love technology and media. I come from a technology background. I'm also a trained actress, but I didn't start out as a trained actress. I actually started out as a frustrated realtor. I fell into real estate, kind of a victim of circumstance. The .com had imploded, and I was trying to figure out what I should do next, and I really, was a little lost. And I had this passion about being an actress, but the first thing that had to come were the finances. So I decided to get a real estate license. And the thing is I'm thinking as a business person who's, at the time I had already had 4 startups under my belt and some pretty difficult ones, how difficult could it be to be a realtor? I mean, really, you show houses, people buy them, you write up the contract, and you're done, right? That was the biggest fallacy I ever uncovered in my entire career. And after 2 years and finally bringing my numbers up, I really understood that real estate is another startup. In that journey, so I'm seeing myself now in another startup. Here I go, I'm building another company, and having a lot of success at sales, but being so truly unhappy because that wasn't what I want to be when I grow up. So I actually ended up at a crossroads of sorts. I'm still building my business. I'm a little unhappy, and I'm not addressing my passion. So I'm like, I've always wanted to be an actress. And what I ended up doing was I actually decided to pursue acting. I took I was studying 3 days a week for a year and a half with one of the best coaches in the state, and I created a new network. Now here I am pursuing my passion. I'm not thinking I'm going to get business from this, but I'm going to pursue my passion. And I became known as a thespian realtor. I didn't advertise that because I wasn't comfortable at that stage of my career embracing a niche, but think of the doors that I could have opened if I would have taken advantage of that at that time in my career. I mean, I was living it. I actually had so many opportunities that came out of the acting portion that I'm like, hey, I am really onto something. What else can I do? And that took me down the road into athletics. And I have a history as an athlete, but definitely not a persona as an athlete. So words describing a niche, and this is going to give us a little bit of focus. A niche is very distinct. So when you're thinking of a niche, it's not broad, it's focused. You want to look at the market like things that nobody else is doing, that nobody else has really latched onto. And we really hear a lot of people thinking that their niche is their target. You know, like they'll say, oh, I'm a buyer's agent. No, if you're targeting buyers, that's a target. That's not a niche. So we want to get a lot more specific when we're talking about niches. But targeting is part of it. So you want to think of who you're targeting. You also want to keep in mind that it has to be very specific. It has to be very specialized. And you also want to look at it as a segment of the market that it addresses. So it's not broad and all-encompassing. Very, very important stuff. So all of these encompass the sum of what a focus is. So what I'd like you to do is and this exercise is only for your eyes. If you want to share it later, that's great. But write down some of the words that come to mind when you think of yourself, okay? That's hugely important. Take real estate out of it for a second and just share some words that you wrote down about your interests. What are you passionate about? Is there something that you've always wanted to learn that that you think about constantly, that you feel like if your life were over today, if you did not pursue that, then you wouldn't have achieved what you wanted to in life? They say an expert can be so in just 60 days, and focus is the operative word here. Really being an expert in 60 days, I think that it is easier for some segments of niches than others, but focus is the operative word. If you focus on one thing for 60 days, you become knowledgeable enough to be seen as an expert.
Kelly, Alice wants to know if it's wise to have more than 1 to 3 niches. You know,
I definitely think that you can have a couple, and if you're looking at what I'm doing, I mean, I've got Breve TV Uncorked. That's wine and entrepreneurs, and then I've got Agent Caffeine. And do people have the markets that I'm targeting? Do they have an idea or a strong category for what I'm in? Absolutely, because my focus is very much about those 2 niches. 3 may not be too bad. I think if you're going 4 or more, it gets a little messy. And also you have to think about how you're going to be messaging and communicating this. Now, for me, it can be challenging just managing 2 niches. So it really, I think, depends on the individual. I don't know if I would go beyond 3, honestly.
Good.
It might make you a little crazy.
Right.
Okay. And I did mention the niche is not a target, and we talked about targets for a moment. Let's see. Okay, so, and this was me. I was the queen of everything.
Yeah, right.
How did you become? right? I wanted to be all things to all people, and I thought that that was where success was. My first lesson that this is not how you're successful is when I joined a company straight out of college. The company was called Cars Unlimited. Now, right there, with my experience today, I can see that as a problem. But to me, buying any make or model from one dealership was pretty cool. What we didn't realize at that company, and I actually started out in marketing, we didn't realize that being any make or model didn't mean anything to the consumer. So looking at real estate for a second, when we're sharing with people how many awards we have, how fabulous we are, the fact that we're $1 million plus agent, I mean, that means a lot of stuff to people internally. Well, maybe not a lot, but it does mean more to people internally. But outside of real estate, what does it mean? What does it mean to the consumer? Absolutely nothing. The consumer is looking for something, or the prospects or clients that you're working with, something of commonality, common ground that you have, things that resonate. And by specializing in a niche and focusing on a niche, now they have, they may not have the same exact niche, but they understand you better. And maybe there's some parallels or similarities to your niche and what they like to do or what their passion is. The point is, at that point, you own a space in their mind because they can recall, right? Mm-hmm. So speaking to your passion and talent, your niche becomes sustainable. And this is, I alluded to this earlier when I was talking about being able to create content and having an unlimited supply of subject matter. When you're in your niche, when you're in your expertise, as far as your space, the focus that you want to be on, everything is exciting. Everything is or things that you're knowledgeable about and passionate about, and there's no limit on what you can learn and what you can share. And so it really makes the content animal much easier to address. And I know that we're all in the social media space these days, playing around. A lot of us are doing blogs, and it really, the content gorilla can be unmanageable sometimes, and in particular if you're not focused on a niche. When you're focused on a niche, it's much more sustainable and easier to create the content. So what I'd like you to do is ask yourself these 7 questions. What am I passionate about? Write it down if you would. And if I wasn't working right now, what would I be doing? If you could do anything in the world, what would you be doing? And what are you most excited about and interested in? And then think about it from the client perspective, because, with the internet, we become kind of this processor of leads, and being on the receiving end of leads is one thing, and sometimes it's necessary to sustain the business or to hit the goals that you want to. But if you could choose any client in the world to work with, who would you work with? If you could describe right now who were the best transactions that you did, who were the easiest, what were the profiles like of those clients, describe those ideal people, and that gives you some insights into who you should be working with and maybe who you should be targeting with your niche. Okay, we tend to do better with transactions with people who are like us because our communication is very similar, and our styles are very similar interests and those sorts of things as well. Also, think about the books or articles that are most compelling, that interest you, that intersect with your business, anything that's common or complements things. Passion can drive your business. And the power of a niche is so significant, it can change your business literally overnight. But you really have to have passion behind the niche that you choose. That's the critical aspect. Our challenge in marketing often is that we try to be all things to all people. And being all things to all people, we really become a whole lot of nothing to anyone. So this is the urgency about formulating your niche. The reason that you want to do this, why? Because your life gets so much easier and everything starts to become intertwined. I think about things like, there's an event coming up in San Francisco soon, and when I'm looking at San Francisco, I'm thinking, how do I, take this trip and tie it into my passions? Well, guess what? Wine country's up north. I'm passionate about wine. That's a whole content opportunity right now, and an area that we can, an area that I can, sustain my passion, and then also share the messages that are important to me about the business that I want to do. And also look for more people who are passionate about the same things. I'll be in an area that, that has a lot of people that are passionate about wine. How can you go wrong with that, right? So think about those kinds of opportunities too. When you're going to a destination, how can you leverage your niche and give you more opportunities to connect with other people, to network with other people, and to gather or create additional content? I noticed a question up here from Mel. We are posting to SlideShare all the time now. Is that a question for me?
No, that's not a question, but I do have a question from Matt.
Okay, I'm trying to follow the chat, so.
That's all right. Matt wants to know, he says, my passion is music, and I was a professional singer-musician for a decade before coming to real estate. I find it difficult to use that without making myself look less professional as a professional agent. There is a fine line between being unique and people not taking you seriously.
I would have to. I think it could go either way. I think some of it depends on how you're sharing your music, and then who also, your ideal clients are. So the question that I would pose is, why do you think that is? Did it become too much of your life to your front-facing clients, or was it an aspect of music or a genre of music that people weren't attracted to? Was it either of those? So those would be the two questions that I would have back. I think it depends on how you're presenting it. I really do. And for me, if I did nothing but from the acting perspective, if I did nothing but go after just actors, I mean, actors don't have a lot of money, so maybe that's not my ideal target. But I'm going after a passion that I know others have, so I'm emulating through my correspondence, through my blog and things like that, my passion, and other people are getting interested in it because either they're curious about that segment. I'd be very curious about from a musical standpoint, and to hear and see that you have passion beyond real estate, that gives you another dimension. So I wouldn't downplay it. I just wouldn't overplay it. And maybe we can have a discussion offline a little bit about some other advice that I could give.
Okay, great, thanks.
Okay, so focus again. All of these, the 7 steps to selecting your niche, are all about focus. Smaller, define, focus. The ideal customer, we've already talked about that. Being irresistible to those who share the same interests, and this I would take this back to the music aspect. Coming up with your niche and just going, okay, here it is, share it with the world. I don't recommend that. I would recommend running when you're talking about your niche and you're narrowing it down, and if it's a focus like music, and you're starting to kind of figure out exactly what aspect of that you want to present. Ask your friends, ask your family, ask past clients if it's interesting, what they think about it, and get advice, because sometimes we are humans. We're not perfect, and we may come up with something that's a little different and maybe not as interesting to people. So always make sure that you're getting feedback before you embrace that niche from other people that you respect and that know you, because that will definitely help. And create a message for your niche. Now, with your niche, there are so many things that you can have fun with. I've seen people, like there's somebody very much involved in a band locally, that is more Hawaiian style bands. You know, they play kind of low key and on the weekends, and he's kind of known as the musical realtor. He doesn't make that his focus, but when you look at his marketing, you'll see pictures of him with an instrument or pictures of him with, you know, performing on stage. So people kind of get the nuance that he is involved in music, and then some of that is articulated through more so through his marketing materials, but also his communication. He's telling people, you know, when he's performing, that gives him an opportunity to share more information with share more information about what he's passionate about with the people who are reading his content. But it also gives people want to know that you're more than just a, and I don't want to say just a realtor, but really you're a human being. You're a human being of many facets, of many aspects, of many dimensions. And the more that you are authentically you, the more that you will attract people like you. Yeah, I can't stress that enough.
Kelly?
Yes.
I was just thinking with the theatre situation, I'm also a theatre person, and you're right, most theatre people don't have much money, but I was thinking maybe if a realtor was into theatre, they could sponsor the local community theatre company. You know, they could be offering to help support them financially and be known within that community.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with that more. And, you know, one kind of broker brand that I want to share is the Seattle Divas. These guys have chosen a niche. They're very involved in the arts, and they're also very involved in their community. And this community is a gay lesbian community. But they've embraced it from the point of, you know, being very involved in promoting events. They've actually taken, so the Divas is the, you know, kind of their niche that they're approaching, but they're taking it and permeating their entire brand with the diva aspect. So their clients are called diva dwellers. They have these, don't you love that? They have these incredible events that, you know, they really put money back into the community, and they're very passionate about the arts. So you'll see them putting on events that are sponsored by the divas, and they invite all their diva dwellers. So they're bringing it back into what they're passionate about, where they're going to spend their free time, you know, and then including their clients and their prospects in there. And I'm sure that, you know, there may be some events that aren't for everybody, and maybe they don't care, or maybe they're a little bit more sensitive to who they're targeting for events. But I mean, they're doing a lot of fundraisers. Come on, who doesn't like to go out and help a cause?
Right.
So yeah, so that aspect of their business I love, and they've really kind of embraced who they are, not only who they are, but how they're communicating what they do, and their brand is unbeatable in Seattle, I have to tell you. And are these guys having fun with it? They absolutely are. Are they authentically who they are? Absolutely, no doubt. And there's another one, Carol Farrar, 1850 Realty in San Diego, and she's actually, her background is in the brewery industry. So what she's done with her real estate, you know, she started out as very much like the rest of us, a generalist, and, you know, not really focused on her passion. And I think she got to a point where she got as far as she could take her business, because she didn't have, you know, the fuel behind it that could really propel her forward. And now what she's doing is she is having at these microbrews these events for her clients, inviting people, you know, and making them so they're public as well, so anybody can come. And she's passionate about the microbrewery industry, so she can share her knowledge and information and insights there. It's fun. Her friends come. You know, it's those kinds of things where you can take our life as spilling over. Real estate spills over into our real life all the time.
Right.
If
It
we
seems
don't
like
have,
combining,
yes, go ahead.
Combining your passion with the community is the key somehow.
It is. Yeah. It absolutely is, and articulating it in a way that that people will grasp and feel like they either are part of it or they can contribute.
Great. we've got a lot of agents telling us their passions, which is really beautiful. And I'm going to ask you questions when we get to the Q&A session. So really bring all your questions forward. There's great questions here, and I'm going to save them actually for the Q&A section. So we're going to have just a 1-minute break. Mel, go ahead.
Real short. Write this down. In fact, don't write it down. Go to secretswebinars.com and sign up. Lee Barrett, Negotiating Your Clients Expected. So let's get good at it. July 30th.
Lee is a CRS instructor, so he's excellent. Great content. Sign up.
Don't miss it. And don't miss the 8-minute presentation following Kelly here at the top of the hour coming up. Joe Cesso from Homes.com talking about Homes.com social and giving you a chance to get it really, really cheap. There's a webinar special, and there's a number, 888-510-8795. You'll want to keep that close. And that was real short, but we're back to you, Kelly.
Thank you. Thank you. I like that. That was really short. Okay. So why choose a niche? It makes a lasting impression with prospects. So going back to the brewery aspect now, is everybody going to think that that's all she cares about? No, because that's one aspect of what she's sharing. And,
or that makes her look unprofessional. Doesn't look
exactly. And that could be, again, it could be how you're articulating things, going back to the musician that had referenced earlier. I think what we want to do is really take a look at the customer's worldview. Like, what does our customers see? What do they need or want? And then identify their main concerns, and maybe also kind of shape your ideas around what the client wants to experience, and then articulate it that way. But it's really, you really have to kind of get inside the consumer's mind, and I think that that's where we have, and it is one of the most difficult parts of the niche and also your personal brand, is really, you also have to not only think about what you want to share, but what your customers are looking for in that aspect. And being able to flip it, instead of always going, well, this is what I would do, or this is what I want to share, is like, think about what they want to hear, or what they want to see, or what they might be interested in. Mm-hmm. So always, and I do this a lot these days, is when I'm running into a roadblock, is I flip it. Go completely opposite of what you're thinking. When you go completely opposite of what your logical brain tells you, you get more opportunity to experience different ideas. And it may not take you in the exact direction you want to go, but it will open up your mind, and more things will come to you. So the other aspect of selecting your niche is, we don't want to look like our competition. I mean, the traditional messaging that we've been trained to share historically makes us look like everybody else. This is the only way, by being authentically you, that you can separate yourself from the competition. There are no two humans alike. So you need to be authentically you. Maybe not too authentically you. There may be some restraint you may want to use in some aspects, but being authentically you it just makes everything much more easier, and you will have commonalities with people who are like you, and that's huge. Okay, and think about your own experiences. What in your past have you done or experienced that really resonated with you, and you want to explore more? Remember what I said about the 60 days to really becoming knowledgeable about a topic. I don't think you want to delve into something that's brand new and you know nothing about, but if there's something that you know you have a strong perspective on and a strong emotion behind, you can probably create passion out of that. And run with it. So choose smaller because it's better. It's manageable. It makes it easier to communicate with your chosen vertical, and you can learn and speak that language. Define and then focus, describe every aspect of that niche, the people who would be attracted to it, why it's interesting to you, what kind of partners you can attract to enhance your marketing, vision, and reach. And be specific. Don't be afraid to list every single possibility of those relationships. The more, the better. You can reduce the ones that don't add value later. Envision your ideal customer, right? Speak to them. What kind of problems do they have? What kinds of things are they having a hard time getting information on? What are their interests, right? Flip it. Always flip it. Be absolutely embraceable. You want to share values about some of the most important aspects of what your customers care about. How can you incorporate your values into your business, right? I mean, the value aspect is really important. If family is super important to you, there are aspects of family that could become part of your niche. You know, maybe you focus on people who are raising very young families, or you know, you're focused on the schooling aspect, homeschooling. Maybe homeschooling's your niche, and you know everything about it because you've done it already, and maybe that's an area that you focus on and that you're passionate about. And I did talk a little bit about thinking about your own experiences, but think about the fact of when you're looking for information on a specific topic, when you needed information or you needed a service, or even were curious about a particular subject, when did you find a void? Okay, like when was there no one to help? That's an opportunity for a niche. Okay, and also the economics of trying to educate people on what you do all the time instead of simply creating a message on your niche and running with it. Okay, so we don't always want to talk about the real estate aspect, because the aspect is one-dimensional, and I think that this is often why we start losing that traction that we have with past clients. You know, we don't know what to say when we pick up the phone. We maybe don't have a strong idea of what their interests are. If we're focused on a niche and we're attracting like-minded consumers, it's much more easy for us to strike up the conversations and to have more commonalities. So that's another aspect of your niche that makes it easier to communicate.
Kelly, I got a great statement from Jennifer. Would you like me to read it to you?
Absolutely.
She's very excited. She said, "This is so impactful for me. I'm struggling with this topic right now, and I feel like this info from Kelly is life-changing. I have thought that I was crazy and I am in a funk and I am feeling thrilled. Is there any way to talk to Kelly directly?" Well, we'll put you in contact. But I'd love to ask her a few questions. She's been a realtor for 2 years. She has a strong background in sales and is good at it, but she never loved what she did. But she's always been successful. And she just realized that I'm in love with empowering women, and my ideal client is 28 to 32, and she's 45 years old. Single women in DC. This is amazing. So Jennifer, fantastic. You're on your way to your niche.
Absolutely, and she's at the precipice. Regardless of which direction she goes with real estate, she's literally at the precipice. I see so many opportunities just off the top of my head, and I would definitely love to connect with her.
Right,
that's wonderful. Very exciting stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Fabulous.
So I just want to check and see how we're doing on time. So failure to define, failure to understand how people buy, and failure to know who our best customer is where we're going to miss the boat. So always keep in mind, definition, focus, know your best customer. The message that you want to create is to them. Okay. I love this one. It speaks to people. It speaks to people. They remember you. And if there's ever a question about should you do a niche or not, read this right here. You're memorable. People are going to recall you better. Okay, emotional targeting. I love emotional targeting because these are other aspects of ways to, you know, kind of suss out your niche and what it should be. It could be lifestyles, or, you know, lifestyles like maybe you are the, what do they call them, the metrosexual male, and, you know, you're appealing to that segment, and the messages that you're going to share are about the single lifestyle or about grooming or, you know, whatever it is. The hobbies, the acting could definitely fall in that category. The music could fall in that category. and maybe interests, maybe things that you're not actively pursuing, but you're interested in and you're passionate about. And of course, location, community, workplace, life stage. Life stage is a huge one right now too, with all these boomers getting old. Okay. Now, I have to say, I don't know that Johnny Appleseed actually wrote this. After I put this in, I'm like, Johnny Appleseed, did I type that to be funny? Is there really a Johnny Appleseed? But the statement is profound. This is a dimension, and niche is not defining you. It's a dimension of who you are,
Right.
okay, and what you do. So people understand and have an opportunity to relate to you. So nothing beyond that. Okay, benefits. Oh my goodness, are there benefits? Okay, we talked a little bit about this, but I want to kind of delve into this again. The worst, so I've asked you to think about the absolute best transactions you've had. Now think about the absolute worst transactions that you've had, the horrible ones, the ones that fell apart. I don't know if you ever had this happen to you, but I actually was locked in a conference room at the closing table with a client literally screaming at me for probably 10 minutes. I don't think he swore at all, but he screamed the entire time. While I was sitting in that meeting with he and his wife being completely humiliated, it gave me an opportunity to kind of look back in my mind and say, why am I standing here? Who are these people? Why am I doing business with them? What do we have in common, right? So the key benefits of a niche is, I truly believe at that time, had I been embraced with my niche, I would have never run into these people because we had absolutely nothing in common. Absolutely nothing in common. But keep that in mind. Think about your worst transaction. And if it were avoidable, would you avoid it? If you were attracting people who were more like you, would that be a benefit to you? And absolutely it would be. I mean, honestly, everything is easier when you're working with people who have more in common with you.
Right.
The traditional real estate niches, these to me are more like targets, okay? I don't really call them niches, and I just put these on here just to show you, here's some traditional ones. Everybody's doing some aspect of these, right? I mean, everybody. So are you going to stand out if you do one of these? It's not to say you might not have a focus or be targeting people a little bit in these segments. But here's to me where one of the magic ingredients may lie. And maybe this, I don't think this next list is going to, you're going to go, aha, I am that. But I think it may give you ideas. Here we go. Traditional is common. We don't want to be common. Non-traditional, how about the Zen agent? How about the agent who like makes everything like feel so calm and so Zen and everything goes smoothly and you're really good at, making people feel good and better? Can you articulate that? Actually recently had a guest on my show on the Breve TV Uncorked. Her name is Maya Matthias. She wrote a book called Release Your Inner Mojo. And she had clients, she does a lot of consulting, clients coming back to her constantly and just saying, you made me feel so calm and you just make everything feel okay. Even if we're stressed out, you bring us down. You're like a Zen consultant. And so for her, she's now going to focus on that as an aspect of her personal brand. For her, her clients gave her the message. Right. So listen to your clients. Your clients may be sharing that with you. You could be a connector agent. A connector agent is somebody who goes out there and puts people together. If you're focused on, if you're targeting like relocations, a connector agent may be a good niche for you because as a connector agent is putting people together. They're making things happen with no benefit to them other than the feel-good moments of creating opportunity for other people. I think that that's huge. That's a huge way to conduct business. And I think we all have a little bit of a connector in us, but taking that to another level and being known for the person who really, makes the relationships happen, helps people take their businesses to the next level. Wouldn't you want that person as a partner in your arsenal of professionals? social media agent, I don't know about this one. I'd like to kind of pass on that for now. Well, there's too many social media gurus out there, right? That's true. But those are just some ideas, and I could go down the entire list. But I think you kind of get where I'm headed on this. Yeah, that's great. Just to trigger some ideas. So what do you want to know? What do you want to be known for? When you're sitting on your deathbed or laying on your deathbed, ask yourself, what kind of regrets, if that happened today, what regrets would you have about things you didn't pursue? And write those down. And then start looking at that. Is that a feasible aspect of a niche for you? I really think that our time is so short on this planet, and that if we're not incorporating our passions into what we're doing, where we're spending our most time, then we are missing out on living a full life, and you never want to do that. And especially if you have kids, you want to show them that you can not only do a job, but you can also have a passion behind that and pursue what makes you happiest. So, to own your niche, how do you do that? You permeate everything that you have. I love a little tip I got from Deborah Trapin on your email signature. Use a bit.ly on your link. Those are the link shorteners, so you can track how many people are clicking on it. But add that to your email signature. Add what you're doing to your email signature. Add what your niche is, and put a link there to a page on your website about your niche. See how many people click on that. That'll give you an idea of if you're starting to resonate. And then the others, share it on your voicemail, tell everybody everywhere what you're doing. But first go back and make sure that it's something that resonates with people. Always test first. How are we doing on time? Good. And I dare you to be different. That's how you make a name for yourself in this world. It's not just about all the dollars that you bring in, but being yourself and embracing that unique side of you is huge. So do you want to pursue questions? I don't know how far I am in the presentation.
You've got 2 slides left.
Oh, I only have 2. Okay, perfect. Okay. Yeah. So magic is your niche. This is going to be the secret ingredient, the spark that adds pizzazz to everything that you do. It'll add pizzazz to your life. It will add pizzazz to the people that you come in contact with and why they're coming in contact with you. And it's directly related to your personal brand, which if you're not working on it already, you should be, because your brand will need to evoke and drive your niche. Also, discovering what you want to do with your personal brand is one of the most important things that you can do to create magic. And when I say discovery and development, I'm talking about the evolution of it. When you first start, you're not going to have all the answers as far as, what kind of words resonate with this niche, or what do I want to be called. I'm the caffeinator, or the caffeinator, as I sometimes say. And then I have a tribe. I have this group on Facebook, and they are literally, all of them are called the caffeinators. They're caffeinators. They're part of my tribe. So it's starting, and it's still evolving, but it's starting to be something that people recall. When I walk into the coffee shop, people greet me, "Hey, it's the caffeinator." So it can be fun. It absolutely is fun, and when you're tying your passion into it, there's no better way for you to roll. And daring to challenge the status quo, always. Always and forever.
Because you kind of think that you won't be liked for the individual and niche things that you're into. Some people even try to hide them. But
exactly. And the thing is, here's the thing, okay, with, I can't remember how many blogs there are out there, but it's in the millions. There are millions and millions and millions of blogs out there. And the reason that there are that many blogs out there is people are reading them. They may not be making comments on all of them, and I think, today we're so overwhelmed with information that we're not commenting as much as we are lurking and absorbing. But if there can be that many sustainable blogs, then what does that tell you about the opportunity to express what you have, what your interests are?
Right, exactly.
Pretty big opportunity.
Yeah, and I'm actually remembering I was looking for a company that wasn't a bad company relative to investments, and I found this woman who was passionate about helping women between the ages of 40 and 70 get their earnings up and support them when they retire. And I love this woman so much, I went with the company because she gave me extra information. I felt her passion. She was genuine. So I'm just looking at Jennifer here, who's just found that she loves to, I think it was, give young people information about real estate. And it's like people are going to feel that and want to work with you because you're genuine.
Absolutely. And they can feel that passion and excitement you have too.
Right. And that's the important thing, is the feeling thing. You think that if you think something and you put the message out there, that it will work, but it's actually in the realm of the emotion and feeling.
Definitely. And one thing that I should share too is kind of what spurred me on to start following my passion with Agent Caffeine and Breve TV. You know, I found I'd been in 5 different industries, all of them very successful, and every single one I reached the pinnacle and I was totally unhappy and let down, and I couldn't figure out why. And I literally had to go back in my life and kind of look at, okay, why did I go to college? The number one reason I went to college was for money. The first job I took was for money. The next job I took was for money. The next career path I was involved in was for money. And money was the motivating factor, and the money being the motivating factor does not do anything for you or your life, and you're living like literally a one-dimensional life.
Right.
And it's a little bit harder to fly too. I think you have to, flap your wings a lot harder than if you have passion behind what you're doing, because if you have passion behind what you're doing, success will follow. That is the lift under your wings that sets you in flight.
True. Bethany says, I just started a web comic, and I know I will have some real estate related comics. I hope to gain some clients from the local artist community because that's where I belong. Good for you, Bethany.
That's beautiful. Also take a look at a website called Patreon.com. It's a Patreon. If you may be able to build a community, a diverse community over there of supporters for your art.
Spell that again?
It's a Patreon.com, Patreon, and it actually was started by the Pompalous people who loved to come up with these crazy inventions and couldn't find a way to fund them, and so it's like the Kickstarter for artists.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
right.
Agent Caffeine is on Patreon as well.
Oh, so Bethany, make note of that. Patreon, Patreon.com.
Absolutely.
And Dora says, what if my passion is Bible study and Christian education related? How do I formulate that aspect of who I am with my real estate business?
So I think religion and politics is one of those ones that you have to be kind of careful with, because people are very opinionated about, if I'm nonpartisan, disclosure, but if I went out and said I'm a Democrat, I know in this town I would immediately alienate every single Republican there is. So if possible, tie it more towards the education and less about which God you believe in or things like that. Try to make it as amalgamous as possible, but still while focusing on your niche. I think in the areas that you're already pursuing, where there are already people who have interest there, by all means focus on it. From a more public-facing site, you might have to temper it just a little bit.
Great. Crystal says, I enjoy researching information inspiring women and children passionate about healthy habits after 40 years old. So that's a great niche.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, you can talk about gosh, everything. I'm passionate about healthy stuff too, and I mean from the organic aspect, the diet aspect, the alerting people about bad products or Monsanto or, you know, whoever. But
right.
yeah, there's a lot of opportunities to even drill that down a little bit more, I think.
And Martha says, I'm a mortgage loan originator, and I like to educate, teach, and I'm drawn to the late 20s group.
So the late 20s, educating and teaching, what are those people looking for? What is their hot button? This is the flip it thing. So we know what you're interested in. Now, what are those people interested in that's going to attract them to you? They're not going to go, oh, I'm so excited about mortgage loans. Can't wait to hear about that. But you know, so those 20-somethings, those late 20-somethings, what are they passionate about? And then see if you can find a commonality there.
Right. Good. Jamie says, my background is in event planning. I'm having a hard time combining real estate and events. I know there's a way, just can't seem to figure it out. Any ideas?
Definitely. In fact, I put an event or a PR planner up there. So tying events in, I think the first thing is you're going to want to network with everybody and anybody who has anything to do with an event. So maybe think about an event niche. Think about weddings. What aspect of a wedding or what parts of pieces of people that are involved in weddings needs to come together to have a successful event? Well, you've got, you know, the person who does the services, a minister or something like that. You've got the hotels. You've got the cake people. You've got the dress people. I mean, right there, you can start, if you focus on a specific event, you can start to create the people that you want to, you know, network with and educate and express what you're excited about, and maybe how you can bring business to them, and maybe how they can bring business back to you. If you're passionate about, so with the event planning, very broad, what niche within that realm can you focus on, or niches?
Also, maybe this real estate agent, Jamie, could actually sponsor an event, which could be a jazz festival, or who knows, in the community.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. And you could focus on, you know, wedding parties and divorce parties. There's a contrast.
Right, exactly.
And another life event, divorces, I mean, at a rate of 57% now, I think, of all marriages, there's an opportunity in that niche as well.
Yeah, really. Right, like the divas. And then Alice said that they have a few niches. One is health and fitness, one is biking, and one is motorcycle, Harley riding. So what would you recommend them just choose one of those, or combine them, or?
Let's see, motorcycle and Harley riding. I love that. What was the other one?
Biking, I guess push bike riding, and health and fitness.
So cycling, and then we have the motorcycles, and then health and fitness. Those could be three separate. The health and fitness is very broad. Is that a correlation of cycling? So the cycling and motorcycles, I definitely would think would be great niches. And what better way to get to know people than to, you know, create a motorcycling group that, for us, it's traveling in a circle around the island, but, you know, that goes out periodically. And the thing is when you're in a niche, don't like push your card down everybody's throat. Let it come naturally. Realize that these niches are longer term investments for you, and that with time the business will come, but it's the recall that we're trying to establish in what you're known for, right? So the actual networking in the business, you know, I ended from an economic standpoint and doing a couple of startups, I needed to end my study of acting. Also, I was very frustrated with the lack of jobs that we have here in Hawaii for acting. And so I kind of put that on a kibosh on that for temporary, but stayed in contact with several of my friends from the acting school, and I've gotten leads without ever asking them for business or asking them to refer me. You know, they've sent me some pretty incredible business.
Right. That's great. There's so many people that are telling us what their niches are, and it's really exciting, but I've ran out of time, and I would love to tell you, but thank you, everyone, for letting us know what your niches are. I wanted to get to this, Kelly, just real quick before we get to Joe's presentation. tell us what you're offering here.
Ooh, this is so exciting. So, okay, so for me, I do like 3 interviews a week, 2 of experts in different arenas, or people who are doing, groundbreaking things on agent caffeine for innovation and best practices, that sort of thing. Ted Rubin is an icon. He's a social media icon. He is the most followed and most watched CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, as noted by Forbes in 2013 in social media. So what I did especially for your group is I had an interview with him last week. Nobody's seen it. Nobody even knows about it but me and Ted. And for those who simply subscribe to agentcaffeine.com, I will send you in 24 hours the interview with Ted Rubin on social niches and relationships. He's a phenomenon, a powerhouse, and somebody definitely you would want to follow on social media.
Great. Thank you. That's very, very generous of you. I totally appreciate this, your offer there. Kelly, we've got to move on, but thank you so much. I am so happy that you have inspired so many of the agents on the call today. That just makes my heart feel really good. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and to the audience, I really value your time, and I hope you did take a few nuggets away from this.
And how can people get in touch with you? Some people are asking.
They can follow me at Kelly Mitchell. They can follow the show at Agent Caff, that's double F, and agentcaffeine.com, and Kelly at agentcaffeine.com is my email.
Yeah, I'm sure if we Google you, we'll find all sorts of ways to get in contact with you.
Yes, digital footprint is important to me.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, thank you. And
Take
now
care.
we have Joe, who is going to talk about one of the most successful products Homes.com has ever come up with, Homes.com Social. This is literally selling like hotcakes. And Joe, welcome.
Hello.
Hey, can we hear you a little louder?
How's this? Is it better?
That's way better. Great. This is an exciting product, Joe, and so let's hear about it.
Well, I want to talk about how to leverage. That was a great talk by Kelly Mitchell, and actually this is specifically for people that want to really have a niche and basically be able to leverage that using social media.
Right.
So for the next 8 minutes, that's what we're going to focus on. And I know a lot of people say, where do I start? I've got a lot of ideas. I've got a lot of things I want to do, but I want to figure out where to start. So when we talk about this product, what we're focusing on here is we're focusing on 3 areas: social management, social listening, and social education. Now, when we talk about social management, we're talking about doing this for you. And this is what Homes.com Social, which is the product that I'm going to talk about right now, this is what it will do for you. We start by doing this. We set up the 7 major social networks for you. So what we're going to be doing is setting up a Facebook business page, a Google Plus business page, a Twitter page, a YouTube channel, an Instagram page, a Pinterest page, and a Foursquare page. So we set these up for you. We know you're busy. We know your bread and butter is selling real estate. So that's what's important. So if you haven't had time to do this, this is where you want to delegate it. Let us set it up for you, because we have professionals on staff that are going to design some really nice pages for you. So this is going to help you maintain your brand consistency, your niche, right, and save you a lot of time. We've also hired a graphic designer that specifically builds these Facebook business pages for you. And we're talking about a really cool cover photo, logo, everything included. So again, a way to represent your personal brand. In addition, we're going to install 3 custom apps on your Facebook business page. We're going to install a welcome app, which is going to basically talk about your mission statement, who the page is for, what the page is about. So somebody can quickly make a decision whether to like your page or not. And it's also going to have a call to action on there to say either like my page now or call me today. So this way it basically triggers that reaction for them to call now. If that doesn't do it, then this surely will. This is a sweepstakes app. We installed a sweepstakes app on your Facebook business page, and you're not giving away anything. That's the beautiful part about this. Homes.com gives away a gift card every month to one of our customers' Facebook fans. And all they have to do to be entered is simply like your page and click enter now. And so by doing that, those easy steps, they're entered to win something. And people love to win stuff. So you get two things out of this. Number one, you get a like to your page, which is basically capturing a Facebook lead. Second of all, they get a chance to win something. So it's a win-win transaction for everybody. And most of all, they're now going to be able to see the content that you're posting in their news feed on Facebook. The last app we install is the Listings app. And this is great because you're selling properties. You want to be able to show these off on your Facebook page. So on your Facebook business page, we install this app. So now consumers can now look at your listings on Facebook, click on the listing, and then also request information to see the property or request information about that particular house. So again, representing the brand, representing what it is. It's selling real estate. So you want to have some listings on your page. We're also going to post to you, and this is the best part about it, is that we encourage you to post whenever you want. You want to build your brand, you want to build your niche, you want to be able to post to there. But in case you get tied up and busy, no worries, because we post every single day for you. So we're going to post every single day across three of those social networks that we set up. So we set up 7. We're going to post every single day across 3 of them. Your Facebook business page, your Google Plus business page, and your Twitter page. And we're also going to pin 10 items to your Pinterest boards every month. So we set up 7, we post to 4, and 3 of them daily. And when people ask what we're posting about is not about promoting you or your business, saying, hey, call me for all your real estate needs, because I've had a number of agents say to me, hey, I don't like that, I don't want to keep promoting myself. These are things that to draw people in. I'll give you an example of one I saw today. It was things like 7 ways to treat or to save your floors, and it's got like pictures on there. So now, you know, do you think your clients would want to click on a link about 7 techniques to save their floors? Absolutely. So these are the type of things where they're informative and they're providing great information. At the same time, it's maximizing the engagement because they're able to click on that or comment on it, and that's the kind of post that you're going to see there. So it definitely focuses on the consumer, but at the same time, it's not telling them, it's not just constantly promoting you on there, which is not what you want to do on Facebook. So, you know, every now and then it's fine. Gary Vaynerchuk, we just had him on there, and he's got a book that's basically it's called Jab, 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 Right Hook, talking about you want to put 3 different things of data on there or 3 different points of helping somebody, then asking them for something on the 4th one. So this provides the value for you. In addition to that, you also get access to the Social Broadcaster, which you can download to your smartphone. It's called the Homes Connect app. It's free. It's available on both Android and Apple, and you can download it and be able to post to Twitter, post to Facebook, your listings, your open houses, other things on there as well. So lots of great stuff that you can post on that as you're doing that. So again, that's also included. What you also get here with this program, I'm just waiting for the slide to advance here, Social Wall. So we're also offering in this package a website. Now, when we talk about websites, we're not talking about some basic, you know, clunky looking website. We're talking about the hottest websites out today, the responsive design websites. These websites automatically optimize themselves to fit on any size screen, whether it be a desktop, laptop, iPad, smartphone, you name it, and it looks like it was form-fitted for the screen. Okay, now some companies charge a lot of money to do that for you. That's all included. So we include a website in this package, and you're able to get that. And in addition to having that responsive design website and microdata, which actually helps you on search engines, you also get a social wall. So all those great posts that we're posting to your social networks and the posts you're posting to your social networks are now not only going on those networks, but they're also flowing through to your social wall that is on the home page of your website. So it's like a built-in Facebook newsfeed, but the difference is it's across multiple social networks, and it's all about your posts and the posts we make for you. So when people visit your website, they can see these things. It cross-references them back to your Facebook page and vice versa. So a great way to drive traffic to your Facebook page and then also back to your website. It's a great source of information. You can post open houses there on Friday. In the Twitter sphere, on Facebook, we know how fast those disappear. But on your website, they'll still be there on Sunday. So you can be a major draw, have people go to your website every weekend to see where the open houses are, and you don't have to worry about posting them on Sunday morning. You can post them earlier, and they'll still be there on your website. And then this is great, too, because you get the social reporting. So now you're able to see how effective your social media campaigns are, because these back-end reports will show you the size of your community, the increase in size, and how many more likes and followers you have from month to month. your reach, also the breakdown of the community growth, and things like demographic data, like a breakdown of age groups. So here's a breakdown of age groups for this person's Facebook page, and you can see that 75% of their Facebook fans are between the ages of 24 and 34 years old. So, or 24 and 44 years old. And you can also see there like where the average person that likes your page, where they shop at, where they dress at. And that's important when you want to target a specific segment of your market. When you can see who likes your page, you know now that this person probably won't do well by posting senior housing articles, right? Because the average person on their page is between 25 and 44. So now they can say, okay, now I got to target that group because that's the majority of the people that are seeing this ad. So that's the type of thing when you're posting something, having these back-end reports will help you do that.
So, Joe,
now that's only step one. Yeah.
So, Nicola, who is wanting to work with people between the ages of 30 and 35, divorced women and moms, would definitely need that kind of analytics.
Absolutely, they absolutely would.
Yeah.
That is, and those are the type of things that can really help you target the audience and everything that's going on there. So that's something to definitely keep in mind on that, and I would definitely highly recommend that to them. So yeah, by seeing that, you're able to really target that segment when you can do that. So those type of reports are extremely valuable. Yeah. The second thing we do is social listening, and social listening is where you can actually see what people are saying about you, and that's really important as well. So we start by doing this. We start by getting you as an agent or a brokerage registered and verified on the 3 major search engines. So we're talking about Yahoo Local, Bing Local, and Google Local. We do the work for you there. So we do all that heavy lifting. Second of all, what we do is we now put you on alerts so that when somebody mentions you on Facebook or Twitter, you're notified that somebody has mentioned you. And you're able to see the post and respond to it. And if somebody leaves a review about you, you're also able to see, you'd be notified that there's been a review posted about you. And that's important because what happens is that you go in and you can type in any given city, you can type in real estate in any city, and you'll see reviews come up. And these are Google reviews that you see on your screen right now. And so, for instance, when you go back, and I'm going to take this back real quick, I don't need to read the reviews for you themselves. I'm just going to read the bold print. And these are the first 4 reviews that we found. Homeowners beware. Unimpressive all around, a terrible waste of time, and made our first apartment search horrible. Now, I bet you that people who read this cannot wait to call this agent up on the phone, right? I mean, this is terrible. These are reputation and business killers. So keep that in mind that, hey, these people might not even know these posts even exist. So by put on alerts, you're notified when somebody posts a review about you so that you can respond to it. If it's a good review, you can share it. And by the way, with our social support team, you can also contact them and show them this, and then together we can help come up with a nice response for you, because sometimes not responding to these things is not the best way to go, because by not responding, it's almost like you're validating it. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to respond to it, it's that bad. So sometimes you do need to respond to these things, and that's where we can help you out as well. In addition to being put on the alerts, we also provide you with these back-end reports, the Reputation Manager. So you have such reports as a visibility report that'll show you all the different sites you're on. And we break it down into different categories like search sites, the search engine sites, the review sites, the directory sites, and then the social sites. So those are the 4 we break down for you, and you're able to see which sites you're on, which sites you're not on, and which sites that you might be on, but the information on there might not be correct. And that's where the yellow caution sign comes in on there, so you're able to see that. So we also aggregate all of your reviews from all the different sites into one convenient report, which is great, because if you have Yelp reviews and you have Google reviews, you got to print up separate reports and show them. Now they're all in one report for you, so that you can share that with your clientele, not only to show them your average ranking, but also to show them the actual reviews themselves, and the breakdown as far as where the reviews are coming from and where they're trending. So everybody gets a bad review every now and then, but one of the things is that if you had a bad review, but you had 15 good reviews in the last 6 months, it's going to be trending good. So that's one of the things I wanted to mention on that as well. So let's see, we're going to advance the slide here.
Is that working, Joe?
And then, so then finally, a social education. Every month we have free webinars we offer, you're able to get on the free webinars and then also a newsletter. And so by doing that, you're able to not only learn about the latest tips, tricks, and trades, that you're also able to see what's new, the newest things that are going on in social, and be able to learn about this stuff firsthand, so you can learn about posting things to yourself and learning about great events that are coming up in social. And also we'll also provide you with some templates that you can send out to your clients, your happy clients, to encourage them to leave reviews about you on the popular review sites. So that's really important. So not only do we help you to actually be proactive in getting reviews, but also now you're notified when a review comes down, as well as being able to see where the reviews are coming from and what people have been saying about you. So we cover it all there, training and webinars, and then I'm just going to break it down here. What else? What else you get here? So what we have offering here is the Premier Bundle version. We are giving some big discounts here for this talk. And normally, for instance, if you want to bundle everything, so we talk about saying, okay, I want the social media package. I love what you're offering here. I love the website. I need a new website. I think it's great. And you want to get your listings preferred on homes.com. Okay, that price, that's called Premier Bundle. That's normally $299.95. We're offering a $100 discount here, so it's $199.95 today. Also, if you say, well, look, I've got a brand new website. I just spent a lot of money on that. I just want to get the social media package on an a la carte basis. Then it's going to be $159.95. The normal price on that is $249.95. So another nice savings of $90 there. And again, this is for a limited time for the sales price, but we do guarantee those prices for you for 1 year. So that's something that to take advantage of. I highly encourage you to do that because it's definitely worth it. There are no long-term commitments here, so you're not tied in for a year. So you're able to get in, and keep in mind, there's no setup fee either. That first month, there's a lot of setup taking place. We're not going to charge you a setup fee. We're waiving that as part of the discount today as well.
Great, Joe. Thank you. And I would just advise everyone to take it on for a month to 6 months, see how it works for you. We're getting excellent feedback. It's great. It's like a money-back guarantee. You don't have to keep going with it. No contracts.
And Nicole wanted clarification. Is that a monthly price?
Yes, that is a monthly price. That is a monthly price. And I tell people, you try to hire an assistant to post this stuff for you, to look on the internet for you for all these reviews and all the other stuff. It's going to cost you a lot more money. This is the best $159, the best assistant you've ever hired. It does everything for you. It doesn't talk back to you, and it doesn't show up late for work. Right? That's everything. I mean, think about that. Right? It's a great review. So it's a great opportunity there.
And Joe, there's a question that a few have asked relative to, won't your posts for different agents in the community be the same?
Great question. So the way we've done it, we've actually built an algorithm into the program where if you have two people in the same zip code, so if you have two people from the same office, make sure you put down that you're in the same zip code. Use the office zip code, and that will trigger our system not to put out the same content in the same zip code, so that this way the content does appear to be unique. It comes out differently, and because we know that people run the same circles as their clientele sometimes, so we want to make sure that that content looks very unique. But one thing is for sure, the content that is put out is something that's really guaranteed to bring people in, and that's some of the really cool stuff that you're going to see there. It's not basic content, it's really, really engaging content.
And Sue wanted to know what the cost of the program is. We've told them, and she wanted to sign up now. Who should I talk to? And Manny just got back to her. So if anyone else is in that position, we can give you the number, 866-697-3308. This is the perfect way to get in your niche out there.
That was the broker number you just gave.
Oh, thank you for clarifying.
Yes, we're chatting the broker number in the background. The numbers you've seen on the screen are for agents.
Okay.
But if you're a broker, I'm sure they'll get you to the right place as well.
That's right, yeah. Use the same phone number.
Quick question from Bob. Are the daily posts across the platforms the same or different for each platform?
Great question. They're the same going across the 3 platforms, because what we're trying to do is trying to get people to go to multiple platforms. So bringing somebody on Twitter, a lot of times it's easier to get Twitter followers than Facebook likes, so we're trying to bring people maybe over to your Facebook page and be able to get both a follower and a like on that from Facebook. So if you don't communicate with one, if you can't reach them on Facebook, you can reach them on Twitter with that same message.
Donna's just beginning her real estate career. She says it's in the incubation phase. Can this type of marketing assist in her development? Not your conventional real estate sales, but she's going to specialize in boutique luxury home development and some other things.
Multifamily development.
Multifamily, infill multifamily development.
Absolutely, this would help. What do you think, Joe?
Absolutely, for sure. Yeah. Now the thing is, it's not going to necessarily target. That it's not going to be all focused on that particular segment. But the whole thing is that this is a great idea when people can read that in the sense that it's going to be able to reach out to them in one way or the other, because they are going to be able to get out and see, for instance, hey, look at the the 7 things we got to learn about outdoor, whatever it is, with regards to houses or real estate. So by being able to do that, you're able to really bring them in and doing that. But yeah, with specificity, at this price, you can't get something where we're going to say, okay, we're going to focus on foreclosures, we're going to focus on this.
Right.
That's where you come in with your niche, but this will definitely help support that.
And you push out content of your niche through these different channels, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or wherever. Anyway.
Is it an annual contract, Doug is afraid?
No, it's not. It's not an annual contract. It's month to month. So that's another thing. You've really got nothing to lose here. Try it out. Let us work it for you. Let us be able to put it together for you, and we definitely will make this happen.
Yeah, it's a month to month. Doug says thank you, and Joe, thank you. That was a great presentation, and these 2 presentations worked perfectly together. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, guys. Take care now.
Let's get Joe's contact info up,
because
we've been leaving that out, and a lot of people want to get a hold of Joe himself.
Okay.
So there's how you do it.
All right, so you can call Joe on 561-981-5966 if you want to know more about the product. You can also call Manny and his crew, and where's that number, Mel? The broker number is 866, is it?
Yeah.
9733808 if you're a broker. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I am excited that everybody told us what their niches were, and I actually will make a list of all of those to inspire everyone, and we'll probably post them on Homes Pro Facebook page. So don't forget, next month, Lee Barrett, he's an excellent presenter. I've heard him at the CRS conference. He's a CRS approved instructor. 30th of July. Go to secretswebinars.com and sign up. All right, thanks everyone. Be sure to participate in the exit survey. I personally read everything you say, and so I make sure you say everything you need to say about this webinar. Thank you. We appreciate your business. Thank you to our webinar team, Mel, Manly, Kelly, Monica, Manny, and Manly, Joe, Patty. Goodbye and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye, Mel.
See everyone, and recording and SlideShare will be posted. We'll email you.
Yeah, thanks.
See you next month.
Not what you send, it's that you do.
I don't believe. All my emails are personalized.
My houses come up in the first
You're recording that testimony.
Really, the more you have to be organized.
Not to put all your eggs into one basket.
Keep those people remembering you. Give them what they're looking for.
But properly priced is the key. I say, how can I do this different? We don't have a technology problem. We have a people problem. You have to build a relationship.
Secrets of top selling agents